Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our monthly product demo webinar series. We will have these demos every month at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and all will be recorded. I'm Shri Sheth, and I'll be your moderator today for this very well-attended product demo. We're extremely excited to have you all here. It will cover the basics of the product, including interactive playbooks, a live run of one of our playbooks, and a demonstration of one of our hundreds of integrations. Just a few housekeeping items to cover before we begin. As many of you may know, if you have any questions, type them in on the right-hand area of the webinar platform, and we will address as many as time permits. We are recording this session, and we'll send you the slides and the link to the recording by this Friday. And with all those details out of the way, I'd like to introduce our speaker, Abhishek Iyer. Abhishek serves as our product marketing manager, and in his free time, Abhi likes to tell jokes for Twix bars, although he can't really confirm whether or not they're quality jokes. And with that, go ahead, Abhi, take it away.
Thanks, Lee. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. So I can confirm that the jokes will not be good. But thank you, everyone, for your time today. Without further ado, let's just head into a few slides that I'd like to walk you through, and then we'll step into the demo. So, sorry about this message. Yeah. First, I'd like to talk about a few challenges that SOCs face. Growing number of alerts. I mean, this won't be new news to any of you. Across our customers and prospects, we see that alert fatigue has become an industry standard term, and with good reason. So sometimes even 10,000 plus alerts per week, if they flood a SOC which has only 2 or 3 security analysts, then that's not a happy SOC. And that directly feeds into the second challenge that we see, which is a lack of skilled analysts. The US Bureau of Labor projects that there'll be a shortage of 2 million analysts by 2020. And that's because it's such a demanding job. It's a job that requires you to both be in the zone on a day-to-day basis as you fight attacks, as well as always be learning to fight the new attacks that the attackers are doubtless thinking of. So we're not surprised that there is a shortage, but it is a challenge that needs addressing. The third one, this was a bit hidden, but we saw that SOCs by and large have no consistent incident response process. So they may have a workflow either written down on paper or they may be following it, but it rarely covers end-to-end incident response. It rarely improves itself over time. The workflows are usually just made once and then kept for posterity. And there are no metrics to measure how well that standardized process is doing, if the process is standardized. And all of these reasons and more lead to longer mean time to detect and resolution, and at a business level, increased risk to the organization. So if even a few incidents slip through the cracks and take days and weeks to resolve, that results in a clear monetary harm to the organization and reputational harm as well. So taking all of these challenges in mind, we came up with a SOC maturity model. For us, SOC should ideally go through 3 stages, and they have distinct requirements in each of those 3 stages. So in the first stage, SOC should have maximal visibility and consistent and documented processes. In the second stage, as those processes are now solidified, when alert numbers start growing, these processes should be automated. So any redundant and repeatable steps should be taken out of the equation and should be machine run instead of analyst run. Although it's important to note that the analyst should still have overall control of this process. And thirdly, as the SOC continues to grow, maybe across time zones and geographies, there should be an effort to enhance team performance and learning. There is a lot of knowledge and expertise within the organization, but that knowledge is rarely mined to increase the level of all analysts and the SOC as a whole. And once all of these 3 stages are traversed successfully, we posit that it will result in a reduced mean time to detect, mean time to resolve, and overall a reduced operational risk. So this new model we believe is needed, and Demisto solves this model. It realizes this model end-to-end for SOCs. We see Demisto as the connected fabric for your security infrastructure and teams. And Demisto is built on 3 pillars. First of which is complete case management. So we have a full incident management platform which tracks consistent goals and metrics for your overall security operations. And it is an incident response platform, but we've written and beyond here because it has a certain few qualifying differentiators, which I'll go into when I start the demo. The second pillar is automation and orchestration. So here we make all your other security products work together in one screen, and we enable you to maximize investments from those security products. And we also help you automate redundant and repeatable tasks wherever possible. And the third part is collaboration and learning. So all of this knowledge that comes from the incident management part, from the automation and orchestration part, from any freehand analyst comments that are made, how can all that knowledge be studied, and how can insights be extracted from that knowledge to help each analyst in the organization? So we do that through a ChatOps based window called the War Room, where analysts can converse with colleagues, they can run real-time commands, and they can document all their actions in one window, which again, we'll be giving you a glimpse of during the demo. So to expand further on Demisto Enterprise's capabilities, automation I mentioned already. So we do this through out of the box and custom playbooks. There are 40 available out of the box, and you can create your own playbooks. Playbooks are basically task-based workflows and can contain both automated and manual tasks. And this is a flowchart to help you visualize how to respond to a particular incident. This can include triage, enrichment, and even resolution. And this playbook ecosystem is supported by many integrations. We add 2 to 3 new integrations every 2 weeks, and hundreds of security actions that you can just select from the library as an automation that you want to run for a playbook task. Threat management, this I didn't talk about in the previous slide. So we also have a central indicator repository, which automatically records all indicators or artifacts that are part of incidents. We do a historical correlation of any indicators across incidents. So this correlation will help analysts realize if any indicator is persistent within the organization or if it is an isolated incident. So it helps improve context there. And you can also import indicators through sticks. You can upload a file with indicators, which enables threat hunting operations to be run from Demisto's platform. Incident management, I already talked about. Comprehensive SLA tracking and metrics. We have an evidence timeline, which does full journaling and data documentation. And we have a mixture of standardization and customization that helps you meet your regulatory mandates and any compliance mandates that you have. And real-time interactive investigation. I mentioned ChatOps before, and we have a command line interface where you can run real-time commands across any other security products that you integrate with and Demisto's own actions. And all of these commands, comments, and actions are documented in real time. So you don't have to go chasing after ticketing chains or email back and forth to collate information after an incident is resolved. Finally, I'd like to talk about our machine learning capabilities a bit. So Demisto, machine learning is one of the cornerstones of our platform, and it helps enhance analyst productivity. It helps simplify playbook development and just enable leaner, more efficient SOC operations as a whole. This is done through dbot, the handsome little fellow on the bottom right. dbot learns from all analyst actions and historical incident information. And this is manifested in many ways. dbot has suggestions for who the incident owner should be. It identifies experts for each type of incident, and also suggests best products and command suggestions to run for a particular type of incident. So before I step into the demo, are there any questions for now? No. So then without further ado, let's just step into the demo. And again, before I start, there's some housekeeping items. If there is a lag between what I'm saying and what's appearing on the screen, please leave a comment on the GoToWebinar chat interface. Okay, so this is the Demisto homepage that an analyst sees when they log in, and it has a list of incidents that the analyst has mentioned in, specific mentions within those incidents, and any pending tasks that are there. As you can see, the platform is liberal with compliments as well. So for today, at least I am awesome. At least that's what the platform tells me. So after I see this, another powerful capability that actually we've just added with our new 3.5 release is the ability to create custom dashboards and visualize all the powerful data that Demisto mines. So this is one of the standard dashboards that are there. And with this, it's rather than just focusing on the analyst, you can see what is happening throughout the SOC. You can see how many new incidents came in today, any of them that are unassigned, active incidents by severity, by user, by type. So you can slice and dice this any way you want. And to demonstrate that, I've actually created a small dashboard of my own. So if I just want to see email indicators in the last 30 days, I've created a widget for that. And incident type, I really want to keep an eye on Amir and what incident types he owns. So I've created a widget for that. And if I want to add another widget here, I can just edit this dashboard, click add new widget, and let's see, what do I want? Let's say I want active incidents by type. So this widget also appears here in real time. Let's say I don't want a line graph here. I want a pie chart for this. So it's that easy to change how this data is visible to you. And then I can just lock it here. And then this is my new dashboard. I just save and exit. And then this then keeps on updating in real time. If I want to go from last 30 days to last 6 months, you can do that for me. So this enables creation of persona specific dashboards, and it gives you full visibility into all the data that you have within your SOC. So moving on, we talked about security orchestration and automation as one of our pillars. So orchestration happens through our many wonderful technology integration partners. We actually have 160 and counting now, and these are all of them listed out here. Our goal is that any industry that is security related, we either already integrate with the major firms there, or we plan to integrate with them in the future. So this includes analytics and SIM, case management solutions, data enrichment, endpoint tools, forensic and malware analysis, additional IT services, sales like Salesforce, AWS or Box, network security, threat intel, vulnerability management, you name it, right? And for each of these integrations, they're feature rich and API rich, and they're often bidirectional. So for example, let's look at, no, ESM is not a good example here. Yeah, so if I look at QRadar, all of these are the commands or the APIs that are available with the QRadar integration. So for each of these, it's very easy to drill down, see what capabilities each integration has, and then add the instance if you have that tool as well. Adding an instance is pretty easy. Just click the add instance button here. You need to fill in certain credentials, port names, and other required details that are there here. You can decide whether this integration fetches incidents or whether it's a bidirectional one. You want it to be a bidirectional one or not. Then just click this button to test the integration, and then click done to done. And the new instance for that integration is added. One other thing I'd like to point out on the screen is that we have a build your own integration feature as well. So if you have an in-house tool or a custom integration that we don't have currently, there is a code light simple wizard that you can follow to actually build your own integration into Demisto. But due to paucity of time, we won't go into that here. So these are all the tools that we integrate with, and these bear fruit in one of two ways, either in incident ingestion or in playbook runs. So let me show you playbooks first. These are all the playbooks that we have in our system. So the ones with the lock next to them are out of box, but you can always clone them and edit them to change them to your liking. And there are other ones that we've created from scratch as well. So let me show you one playbook. Enrichment IOC. So this is what a playbook looks like. And again, this has been created from scratch, and it's very easy if you want to add a new task or change it in any way. When you enter the playbook editor, these are all the tasks that you have at your disposal. So it's visible in a categorized task library. So you can add a new automation here. If you want certain analyst review tasks, you can add manual tasks here, or you can even add other playbooks within playbooks. So there is playbook nesting here, and these playbooks accept arguments and parameters from each other. So let's take one example, custom script. I don't want to run custom script. So let's say I want to include this add evidence task. So once I click on it, there are a few things that I need to fill in here. Here is where I select the automation that powers this task from the backend. So here it's a pre-built automation called add evidence, which is a scriptlet, but you can select any other from our library if you want. And then I just click OK. And then the new task is added here. And depending on wherever I want that task to go, I can drag and drop from here. Yes, because the previous one is a conditional task, I just choose the label and then drag and drop to here. And then editing a playbook is that easy. Although obviously in this context, it doesn't make sense. So I will not save it and I will exit it. Any questions so far?
We do have a couple actually, Abhi. So the first one is, can you quickly talk about scalability?
Okay, I mean, I'll try answering. I don't, maybe you can expand on that question later if I haven't been able to answer properly. So our platform scales very well, both across a single tenant and multiple tenants. We have full multi-tenancy, and we have been able to scale in one previous proof of concept with a customer. We were able to scale to, I think, accept 400,000 incidents, like over 1 week. So that is the extent of scalability that we currently have. So do you mean scalability with respect to incident volume or number of users? Right, it's an ever-growing process, so we still are trying to improve our scalability further. But this is what both. Okay. So with number of users, that will come with future product updates. We are trying to improve our scalability even more with respect to the number of users. But with respect to number of incidents, we are in a healthy place, although again on the path to improvement. But I mean, far more technical folks than I would be able to answer that question better. So please do get in touch with us offline if you'd like more information.
All right, our second one is, how many developers are needed or coding knowledge to set up the playbooks that are working?
None. So which I just showed a small example, but it is very easy to add new tasks. Playbooks are built from the ground up to be useful across analyst skill level. So if you do have someone who's very good at coding, that is an advantage. But if you have someone who doesn't know coding, that's certainly not a disadvantage. You can create even complex playbooks from scratch without having to code at all. And these can be, I mean, both standard tasks with chosen automations, or it can be custom tasks where we have like filters that you can choose, which again preclude the need to write any code.
And I can attest to that. It's pretty intuitive, so it's really easy to build, maneuver, lock in what kind of playbooks you want to do. Let's see, we have a couple others. So can this be multi-tenant? Would an MSP be able to use this for multiple clients?
Yes, definitely. So it is fully multi-tenant, and it has scalability for multiple tenants. It has 3 layers of isolation. So there's data isolation, network isolation, and execution isolation, which ensures full privacy. And an MSSP would be able to use it for multiple tenants. MSSP can also have common playbook designs for multiple tenants, although the executions would have to be tenant specific because the information is isolated there. For more information here, there is an MSSP specific data sheet on our website. So if you could just go to the resources section of our website, and there is an MSSP data sheet there that will help you out.
And then we have a couple others. Does the playbook editor provide version control / change history?
Yes, good question. Yes, it does. I'm sorry, I exited without saving, so I couldn't show you that feature. But for example, I'll just go into the edit screen again here. And see here, there is a button that says, oh, well, I'll just wait for it to load. There might be some lag. There is a button here that says save version. And then here you can see the version history for this playbook. If you click this, the full version history will be visible. And then while saving each version, you can attach certain relevant comments to show what exactly you changed in that version, the reasons for that change. And this version history is there not only in playbooks, it's there in other, if you want to change your incident type layout, or if you want to change the type of mapping that you have with a particular integration, there is full versioning for that as well. So you can see the version history for this playbook.
Cool. And then this one is just, there's a disclaimer. It's a very specific question. Can somebody bring all the information from relevant and related interface security systems into a single ticket?
Yes, you can. You can do that. There are a couple of ways to do that. If you want to automate it, you can. We have a script that's not exactly meant for that, but there may be some coding required for that. If you can create a new script for that, but we have APIs available that can help you out there. If you don't want it automated, then you can actually, once the incident comes in, we have a war room feature that I'll show you. So you can actually add information from other tools as files, as comments, as freehand notes there, and all of them will be documented as one in context. And even in the playbook, so there's a third way. In the playbook, you can add information from multiple sources and have it come into one single incident. So there are these three.
Cool. So we'll answer a couple more and then we'll proceed with the demo. But these are great. Keep asking questions. We'll get to all of them, hopefully regarding time. So regarding the next two, is contextual help and documentation available from within the playbook?
Yes, there is. If you just click on this button, this is another place where dbot operates. You can literally ask dbot anything about playbooks in general, about a specific playbook. And so this is there entirely. A second thing is we actually have a walk me tutorial, which will, the first time you install this platform, it's not active for me now because I've been here multiple times, but you can activate it at any time you want. It will take you through different parts of the screen of the playbook and explain to you what each of them does. And we also have a support portal on Zendesk, where there are full guides available for troubleshooting for general errors that you face while running playbooks. And if any of these don't work, we have a Slack channel in the DFIR community, and we're pretty responsive there. So just reach out.
All right. Regarding audit capability, are all actions saved in logs?
Yes, all actions are saved in logs.
Awesome. Can playbook process documentation be exported to PDF to support artifact requirements for audit purposes?
Yes, it can be supported. It can be exported to PNG, I believe, but then you can convert that PNG to PDF.
Cool. Is there role-based access control?
Yes, there is full role-based access control at an incident level, at a playbook level, and at an automation level. So you can actually define for each role which incidents they get to see, which automations they get to use or edit, and which playbooks they get to use, see or edit. And they have hierarchy as well. So if there's a CISO and that role is above a SOC analyst, then the CISO will see what the SOC analyst sees and so on.
Great. And then this one is asking to see the reporting features. So maybe we jump straight into that.
Sure. Or no. So I think it'll. So I'll table that query. I'll definitely show you the reporting features today. But let me just run through a live playbook run, and then after that, I'll show the reporting for sure. So
all right,
that question is on hold. So let's carry on with this demo. So I've shown you the playbooks, and the second place where all those integrations bear fruit is incidents. So this is our incident dashboard, where all the incidents that come in, whether they be from a SIM that you've integrated with, a mailbox that you've integrated with, or even incidents that you uploaded here manually, they're all there here. And again, there's a dashboard here, which you can slice and dice however you want. You can even, so if you see this small icon, you can actually create widgets from any of these. So you can write a freestyle query here, and you can create widgets from any of, if any of this data is interesting to you, and add it in that custom dashboard I showed you in the beginning of the So here are all the incidents in tabular form, the incident identification number, which playbook is attached with it, severity, what is the status, any owners that are assigned to the incidents, and SLA, other timely information. So let me head into an incident. So this is one incident which actually demonstrates the playbook that I showed earlier, enrichment IOC. So as soon as the incident starts, this view starts running, which is the work plan. So work plan is basically a live run of the playbook. So let me actually run this again. And while the playbook is running, I'll talk through what this playbook actually does. Let's just wait for it to start. So you can see the playbook is jumping from task to task. And this playbook is fully automated, so it's finishing all these tasks on its own. So while it's going through that, let me just briefly talk through what the playbook does. It's meant for enrichment of indicators of compromise. So it collects URLs, hashes, and IPs from the incident. It checks their reputation against thread feeds that you already integrate with. As you can see, it's doing the URL reputation now. And then there are conditional tasks that check whether bad URLs, IPs, and hashes respectively have been found. For URLs, it also goes to whois and checks the DNS information. For hashes, it goes to a sandbox and detonates it if required. And if the hash is malicious, it also updates the endpoint security tool that you have. And there's an overall branch at the bottom that checks whether there are any malicious indicators at all. And if there are, then the incident severity is set to high. The analyst is notified about it in an email, and a new ticket is created in Jira or ServiceNow or any ticketing tools that you use. So, I mean, in this shortish playbook, we have orchestrated across 5 or 6 different product category types. So you eliminate all dwell time in having to open those products individually on tabs and do those actions. You eliminate rate of error as well. And even time spent to actually do these actions, because all of these actions are happening on their own. So can it correlate related incidents? How? The one question has been asked. Very good question. So as soon as the playbook run finishes, I do plan to show that. So glad to know that that's a question. And just to note, so this is a very usually overloaded demo system. On any customer environment, the playbooks will obviously run much quicker than this one. Is there a test demo environment that can be accessed? I mean, there are 2 possible answers there. I may not have understood the question correctly. So within the product, there is a tab called the playground, where you can actually run any playbook that you want, test it, run any automation that you want. And for the product as a whole, yes, we have a free or community edition that you can download. The link is there on our homepage. Another question, is there a simulation or training mode to validate playbook execution? Thank you. So nice. I didn't know that. In the first slide, I'll add psychic capabilities there for the next demo. Yes, so there is the playground that I just mentioned. So this is a test environment where you can validate any playbook runs. It's a playground, literally. So the playbook run has finished. And you can see that this playbook has stopped at this task, analyst to review incident. So it's a manual task. So while the entire playbook is automated, it still doesn't close without an analyst at least giving it a once over. So all the green tasks completed successfully. If you want to view the results of any task, just click on it. So fetch URL reputation, for example, I can go here and I can see that urlscan.io, for example, what reputation it gave this URL. And it has a bad reputation, and it's been seen in 518 other incidents. So this speaks partly to the previous question, which asked, do we correlate related incidents? And this is one way in which we do that through this hyper search. So you can quickly see how malicious this indicator really is across your organization, across incidents. So you can see it's been seen in 500 plus incidents, and you can quickly jump to any of these incidents as well. To view the indicators in those incidents. So this is one way. There is another way which I'll come to. So yeah, you can, as I said, drill down into any task to see the results of that task. So once this playbook is run, now I want to get into the meat of the investigation, right? So that's where the war room comes in, and that's where our collaboration piece comes in as well. So this war room, it can be thought of as a Slack channel on steroids. It has all of the results from the playbook tasks, any other relevant incident features that are there. And now, once I've reviewed all of this, if I think that, okay, this incident is too complex for me to handle alone, I can actually call in another analyst and we can conduct a joint investigation here. So here, I'll call one of Amir, Nilima, or Rishi because our machine learning has suggested that these are the best experts for this type of incident. So let's just call Nilima. Please help. And then Nilima will actually get an email saying that she's been mentioned in this investigation, and she can join me here and we can conduct a joint investigation here. So that's one thing that's possible in the war room. The other thing is you can actually run live security commands through this command line interface. So since this is an enrichment playbook, maybe another thing that we want to do is get user details from Active Directory. So if I just type AD get user name Jenny Russo, and dbot will just go and run this action and then give me the results right here. So rather than going to Active Directory, running this command, copy pasting the results into some central documentation source, you don't have to leave the screen. And this is documented here for auditing purposes and even for learning purposes. Because we have machine learning, we'll tell you in the future that, okay, for this type of incident, Active Directory is a command that's usually used. So these are some things that are possible in the war room. Now, if I think that this is an important piece of evidence, I can mark it as a note so that it stands out. And I can even mark it as evidence. So if I write it AD user evidence and then mark as evidence, it will be available on the evidence board here. So this is a kind of a distilled timeline of the incident with only key pieces of information that you get to see. Yes, Sri, we have some questions.
Yeah, so while we're in the war room, we have a related question. Once you call another analyst to work on an incident, is this going to open an additional ticket?
No, it's not going to open an additional ticket. So each incident has one war room entry, and that war room entry can run into how many ever actions you want. If you wanted to open a ticket, you can code that in. You can have a playbook for that. But what does happen when another analyst is called is that analyst gets an email, and then that email has a link, and when that analyst clicks on that link, both of us will in essence see the same screen, but on our individual consoles, and then we can work on that incident. But when you look back at an incident, for example, if I look at the summary view here, you can see the team here. So there is kind of that log that an incident, what were the team members that each incident had. So you can see once I called Nilima was added to the team here. And Amir is owner of enrichment IOC incidents by default. And I'm a participant.
Cool. And then we got asked this question earlier, but we'll answer it one more time. So the question was, how much coding and development is required to set up a playbook? Do we need a team of developers? And the answer was no.
No, you don't need a team of developers. It's very coding light. We're moving more and more towards to use like supposedly cool Twitter phrases, hashtag no code promise, which is, I mean, especially with the latest update, even complex playbook tasks from scratch can be created just by accessing our library of filters, transforms, and automations. Like I said previously, a developer would certainly improve the power that you can access from the playbooks even more. But from simple to complex use cases, you can use, you don't need to use any coding expertise to build out these playbooks for your incident response. Okay, and so now coming back to an earlier question, which was how do we correlate indicators across incidents? So I showed you one way. The second way in which we do this is we actually have a related incident screen for each incident. And this shows a radial time-based view of which other incidents in the platform are similar to the incident that we're currently seeing. So this incident in the middle is the incident we're currently seeing. And as you can see, not many similar incidents are there, but there have been 2 incidents in the past. This is going back in time that have been observed. And if I click on any one, I can actually see the labels side by side. I can see which indicators in particular were common, which hashes were common. And if I think that these are very close, I can actually link them. and then Demisto will track them together in the future. Or if I think they're exact replicas, I can just mark as duplicate here. So there is a UI-based mark as duplicate option, which again helps weed out the false positives a lot. So this is the second way in which we correlate indicators across incidents. This is not only based on indicators. We see other labels, incident labels, time of occurrence, similarity between time of occurrence before suggesting or creating this map for you. So that's it. One last thing that I'd want to show is, as promised, the reporting features. So if I go back to the home screen, reports. So our dashboards are real time, but reports, on the other hand, need to be scheduled, or someone needs to get it daily. They are still dynamic, but they're not as real time as dashboards, because that is not the need from reports. So these are a few out of box reports that are there: critical and high incidents, daily incidents, which you can just run at any time and that report will be generated. But if you want to create a new report, the level of customizability is the same as that for dashboard. So again, we have a widget library here. So if I want to create a report just for me, if I want to have active incidents by severity, I can add that here. Average incident duration. This is not helpful. Remove incident severity by type. Add that here. Incidents assigned by user. Any of these, right? So if I think that this is a good enough report for me, I can choose the recipient to be myself. I can check whether the format I want is PDF or doc, whether the orientation should be portrait or landscape, what the paper size should be, if it needs to be printed out, and then I just save the report. And then I just save and exit here. And then, so that's a small peek into the reporting features that we have. Any other questions?
Yeah, regarding correlating related incidents, can related incidents be grouped automatically as they happen to the first incident that was originally reported?
Can related incidents be grouped automatically as they? So here is where it's kind of a push and pull between analyst control and machine control, right? Because we look at a wealth of data, but even then, we believe, and it has been validated so far, that the analyst should still have final say in order to ensure that what is being linked is correct. Oh, same malware campaign. There's a follow-up question for that. Yes, that can be tagged for sure. Yes. If something is in the same malware campaign, you can tag it. You can. There are playbook tasks for that you can do, or you can even run a command from the command line interface. In real time from the command line interface. So there is another question asked, which was in real time. Yes, from the command line interface, you can do that in real time. And as and when incidents come in, so playbooks run in real time, right? If an incident comes in, a playbook runs. So whenever a related incident with the same malware campaign comes in, that playbook can run and that can take care of it for you. So that will be in real time. Playbook will be machine-led in real time, and the command line interface will be analyst-led in real time. So I hope that helps answer the question.
All right, with that, I think we're ready to end. If there are any other questions, feel free to type them in, or feel free to contact us after, or let us know that you would like to be reached out to in the question box, and we'll go ahead and make that happen. I will be sending out the recording to everybody by the end of this week, hopefully by the end of today, actually. Wait, one more question. How mature is the product?
How much?
How mature is the product?
How mature is the product? So in terms of years, we are entering our third year now. We have version. This is version 3.5. Yeah, version 3.5. We're entering our third year. We ever growing, agile, but more mature than we were 3 years ago.
And do we serve enterprise clients?
Yes, lots of our current customers are enterprise clients, clients with mature SOCs. But we also have MSSP customers and small and medium businesses, SOCs for SMBs.
And then real quickly, since we still have time, can we talk about differentiating from other similar products like Phantom?
Yes, we can. So we believe there are three major differentiators here. One is that the complete nature of the platform. So we have a SOC focus more than an automation or orchestration focus. We have one pillar which does security orchestration and automation, but we have full incident management and we have collaboration. So together, those three handle the incident end to end. That's one differentiating point. It's a clear presence absence with incident management and with collaboration. The second one is within automation itself, our automation offers more visibility and control to the analyst. So when attacks become uncertain and complex, Demisto playbooks rise to the occasion. So these playbooks can have both automated and manual tasks. Phantom playbooks cannot have manual tasks. These playbooks engage end users through email responses. Troubleshooting is easy. A task can be rerun from the middle of the playbook. These playbooks are modular. So if you create a new task, that can be shared across playbooks. In Phantom, it's not as modular. It's not as customizable. So those are in brief differentiators within automation itself. And third is the backend architecture security we have. So all our Python coding is done on Dockers. This ensures that the code integrity is maintained and it's isolated. And as previously mentioned, we have like data execution and network isolation. I don't think Phantom uses Dockers. There is then a real possibility for data theft and deletion. So security is a concern there.
Okay, cool. And if we want to elaborate, feel free to let us know, and we can have a one-on-one meeting after the demo as well to kind of give you a greater breakdown of the differences there. We have a quick question. Do you have any current customers within the DOE enterprise sites and labs? I'm trying to think.
Not aware, but I may not be the best person to answer that accurately. Could you just, if you could just reach out to us separately as well, we'd be happy to help you out.
Definitely. Is this cloud-based, and can it be in the house hosted?
Yes, yes and yes. It has a cloud or SaaS offering. It can be on-prem or hybrid, and it has multi-tenancy.
Cool. And then does it support third-party access control?
Yes, it does, as part of our backend.
All right. Hopefully that answers everybody's questions. With that, we are ready to end, unless there are any final ones. Like I said, you will be getting the recording, all the good stuff. In addition, we'll be sending the white paper in the same email, and any additional information we feel like you might need to get a greater overview of our product. But I hope this was very helpful. Thank you so much for all of your questions. This was really great. We're really excited that everybody could be on here. We had some really great questions. So with that, have a great day. Thank you so much. And again, I'll get you that recording as soon as possible. All right. Have a great one, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.